Hello, hello, family. Hello, everybody. Everybody, just come on in. God bless everyone. Excuse me. Excuse me. God bless you all. I just went on ahead and decided to go live. I start my book club today because I do have a lot of chapters. So I want to get started, and you know me, I will not be long at all. I will not be long at all. Um, it's kind of hot. I'm kind of It's raining here. This weather is changing so much here. Yesterday it was so hot. I ain't gonna say hot. It was so nice yesterday here, and go use the restroom. It was so nice here in Ohio for it to be December. It should right now we should be wearing hats and gloves, bundled up, snow, but it's not. Now it's rain. It's like it's spring here. It's spring, so the people is getting sick, and I just stayed in today. I haven't go out nowhere today because I don't want nobody to catch what I'm getting. Because germs do jumps. So got to be careful and stuff. But thank you all for coming in. God bless you. Um, know that I love you all. Hey, King Daryl. Thank you, King, for coming in here. Hey, Edna. God bless you, Queen. Hey, know your own worth. God bless you. Thank you for coming in. Okay, come here. So, everybody know that I got a grandson, the Anthony, so he probably be in and out bothering me. I done dropped him off to his dad. I was not feeling too well. I didn't want to feel like getting out. I took me a nice little nap, and he should be sleepy because he did not wet me. He stayed awake. So I'm gonna go. Hey, Dizast, how you doing? Hey, Lord Brandon, God bless you. Thank you for coming, showing me some love, everyone. So, do I sound okay to you guys? Because if I don't sound good to you guys, I do want to start this reading, getting this book read, Serving Justice. It's going to be a good book. A lady trying to find herself who kind of left God. You know what I'm saying? She met, three other queens that it was four of them. They became very close. And then she met a guy who she fell in love with, and she started falling, off living a saved life. So now she got to make a decision. Is she going to live a life for God, the life that God want her to have, or is she going to do the things that she was doing, with her friends? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Okay, go ahead and watch TV. Got TV on for you, okay? Okay. Finna go ahead and get started. So I gave you guys, you can go on the Amazon and order this book if you want to go get the book and go read it with us. You're so welcome to. Okay, D, don't start, okay? Granny's gonna start reading, okay? So you guys, let's show each other love in the chat. So I will be having my head up and down, looking in the chat. So I might miss a lot of people what you guys be saying. So let's watch the chat for me, make sure. I mean, I got certain people blocked; they cannot come in, so I shouldn't have no type of distraction coming through. So you'll see. Hey, pretty apple. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. I was gonna start with the chapter one. I'm not gonna go to know who she all dedicated this book to. Um, some of the stuff I'll be skipping. That way, you guys can, when you get the book, you can read that on your own leisure time. Okay, chapter one. Angie stood waiting on the curb, obliquely to the world around her. She was strictly beautiful in a yellow linen suit she had chosen to wear for the day. As she stood there deep in thought, she did not notice the car pulling up in front of her. Hey, lady, need a ride? Came a deep voice from inside. Although she recognized the black car, she was not familiar with the voice that came from inside. She bent over to peer inside and noticed it was not whom she was expecting. Stepping back, stepping back so as not to appear eager. No, thank you. Angie quickly responded, my ride is on the way. Obvious disappointment shone in her face when he realized a striking woman with her long brown hair blowing gently in the wind wouldn't be joining him in his cab. Suit yourself, lady, said the driver as he pulled away. Angie revisited to the conversation she had been having with herself. She couldn't believe that she let her three friends back into her corner the way they had. She continued to replay the event that had captivated her into such a mental frenzy. The four of them had been friends for what seems like forever. Angie, Rhonda, Teresa, and Darlene had met at a Howard University when they were all young, doe-eyed freshmen. It was Angie's first time away from home, and she had been the first to arrive that day. The first one to enter a world that would forever change her life. Because she was there on a scholarship, she would be sharing what was known as the quad room. She had one other girl would be sharing one bedroom. Two other girls known as suite mates should be sharing an adjoining bedroom, and they all would common study and living area. As Angie continued to reflect on that day, she smiled as she remembered how each of them had become fast friends when they discovered they all had the same goals. Each was there to study law, find a rich husband, go out, conquer the world. So all four girls was going to law school. Each of them was so different, yet so much alike. Angie smiled to herself as she recalled the image of their first meeting. The first one arrived after Angie was Darlene. Darlene was a pretty little thing. She was only about 5 feet tall. Her mother was a Vietnamese, and her father black. She looked like a black China doll with her petite frame, long black hair, and cocoa colored skin. She was a sharp dresser and appeared to have all the confidence in the world. Teresa, or T, as they had all learned to call her, was tall, dark, and striking. They had often teased her about being from a long line of distinguished African royalty. In a sense, she was. Her father had spent assignment for at the American embassy in Abuja, Nigeria. When he met when he met her mother, Jumaka, she was the daughter of a Oba, an Africa king and wise man. Her tall and imposing physique immediately caught her attention. Her skin was dark and creamy as the richest chocolate, yet as smooth as a newborn babe's. She had an air about her that was absorbable. At first, she seemed unapproachable, but when you got to know her, she realized that she had one of the biggest hearts of anyone who would you ever met. Rhonda had been the last one to arrive. Rhonda always looked serious and didn't smile much. At first glance, it appeared as though she didn't know how she looked. She wore minimal makeup. She and most mornings she didn't even bother to iron her fashionable but nonetheless wrinkled clothes. She was extremely smart, and the other women would soon all learn to depend on her to help pull them through some of their most difficult coursework. Angie's eyes briefly clouded over remember the days left for college. It was the first time she would see her beloved Nana alive. Nana was her grandmother. She was the one who raised Angie after her parents had been killed during a civil rights protest. Her memories of her parents were just shadows now. Now, Nana would often tell Angie how much she reminded her of Angie's mother. It wasn't just about the way she looked, but also because of her sense of justice and determination to fight against what was right and wrong. Her resolve to remove Her resolve to prove that women were just as good as men and that it was not who you were on the outside, but what the possess on the insides. And that matters. Amen. As Angie found herself once again lost in her past, she heard a familiar voice say, "Good morning, Judge. Are you ready to go out in a fight for truth, justice, and American way?" This time, Angie recognized the cheerful and sultry voice of her driver. "Good morning, Tony," Angie responded. She immediately transported back into the back to her back to here now. As she looked up, she noticed that her ride had finally arrived. "I see you are right on time as usual." A silly little girl replaced the scar that had been on her face just moments before. Mhm. What Tony didn't know was that it was he that put that smile on her face each morning. Angie looked forward to the time they spent together to her ride to work. Some mornings as she put ready to some mornings as she got ready for work, she felt like she was preparing for a date. She took extra care to look good, hoping he would notice. As Tony got out to open the door for her, she reminded that only was he looking good looking, but also was consummated gentleman. He was quite tall and muscular. It was very obvious that he took care of his body. He once told her each morning before starting his day, he took 5 mile run. "It helps me clear my mind and focus on the day ahead," he once told her. Angie often found herself imagining him running into a beach, his sweaty face deep in the concentration of the task at hand. She imagined the taut muscles expanding with each step that he took. The beautiful dark skin glistening in his sunlight. "Tony, have Tony, you don't have to get out and open the door for me," Angie repeated yet again. "Yes, I do. I know how to treat a lady, Your Honor," he responded. Angie became nervous as she thought about what he was about to do. Why did her friends have to be so pushy and insistent? Excuse me. Although she had fallen in love with Tony, it made her more than likely uneasy to think about how it could change her life. Not only was he unaware of how she felt, but she also was sorry to admit she was a little ashamed of what he did for a living. So she didn't want him because he was a driver, a taxi driver. And he probably was something else. Is all that she see right now. Okay. If you don't mind me saying to Your Honor, Tony asked with concern, "You look a little worried this morning. Want to talk about it?" "How many times do I have to tell you all to call me Angie?" she responded with just a little irritation in her voice. "I know your name is Angie, Your Honor. As I have said before, Your Honor, it's a name of respect and you have earned. Who will disrespect such a beautiful woman?" Tony's response immediately caused her to blush. It was little things like that which had caused Angie to fall in love with Tony. That plus the fact that he was intelligent, drop dead gorgeous. He wore his hair short with brush waves and had just a hint of mustache. His eyes were a strange shade of brown that lit up each time he smiled. He smiled. Just the thought of it made Angie feel good. She giggled slightly, causing him to ask, "What's so funny?" As Angie saw the twinkle in her eyes reflecting at her in the mirror, she responded, "Nothing, Tony. I was just thinking about a private little joke." "Care to share?" he asked. "Not this time, Tony. Maybe some other time." Angie responded as she became quite quiet again and thought about what she was about to do. They rolled in silence for a while. Angie watched the scenery flashing by as she tried to muster up the courage to broad the subject. She found herself watching the people while they passed. She saw children on their way to school, men and women on their way to work. She saw couples and cars and wonder if they were married. "Tony, I have a big favor to ask you," Angie said with anticipation in her voice. Once again, she saw her eyes looking back in the mirror. "You know, I am here to serve," he answered. It would take more courage than she felt right now. She plunged ahead. "As you know, I am being honored at this year's Barrister Ball," started Angie. "I know," came Tony's response. "I tell anyone listening about the great judge Angela Jenkins, who's graced me with her presence each morning." As usual, Tony made her feel at ease as they talked. She began again. "I'm a little embarrassed to tell you this, but I don't have a date. I mean, I need someone to escort me to the ball." As she watched him to the mirror, she saw that his eyes had begun to frown, and felt what little courage she had slipped away. Tony's voice conveyed his emotion. "What do you mean you don't have anyone to escort you? As beautiful, as smart as you are, I would think any man would honor accompany you." Angie felt his courage returning. "Would you? I mean, will you escort me, please?" She asked with a hint of anticipation in her voice. Angie watched his eyes in the mirror again. The frown he had been replaced with a look of concern. There was an uncomfortable moment of silence between them for just a moment before he responded, "Are you sure you want me to? I mean, they would. You want and someone like me to take you to the ball?" They have arrived their destination outside of the courthouse as he parked and now turned around to look at her. "I mean, you are rich and powerful, Judge. I'm just your driver." Angie began talking fast as she felt her courage about to slip away. "Tony, you are my friend, and to be honest, I stay too busy with my work that I hardly get a chance to get out and meet men. Besides, where would I find someone to escort me on such a short notice?" With that, it only took a moment before he responded yes to her question. "I will consider it my honor and pleased to escort someone as beautiful as you." Angie couldn't believe her luck. He had agreed to take her to the date on this ball. She she was both excited and scared at the same time, both proud and ashamed, both anticipated and dreading their becoming Thursday night. Tony had just Tony had been right. She was the most beautiful, powerful judge in Chicago, and he was just a cab driver. So, what's Chicago? What would her friends think? What would her colleagues say? Was she that desperate for a man that she would settle for someone who drove around people around in a cab all day? That settled it. She would have to find a way to keep what he did a secret. And she realized that some people just wouldn't understand. Never judge a book by its cover. They didn't know why Tony like she did. They didn't know how sensitive that caring this man was. They didn't know that even though he had a PhD in psychology, he decided he decided that his enjoy doing the job had put him through college. He enjoyed driving a cab and doubling his as her driver because he cared more about people than he did about money. Ain't that something? He had a PhD and they didn't even know it. They thought he just a regular cab driver. But that cab driver that he was driving will put him through school. That's awesome. That's why you should never judge a book by its cover. You don't know until you get to know that person. He enjoyed, and money not everything. You know what I'm saying? What counts is love. Love covers money. As long as you got love in your life, money can be there. But if you got love, you got everything. So when you meet somebody, you know what I'm saying? As long as that person not out here robbing, stealing, killing, and stuff like that, but that person got love for you, mad love for you, and know how to come down like he did, you know what I'm saying? That's a man. He enjoyed being outside each day instead of being stuck in some stuffy office, talking to people, listening to their problems, treating them with respect and dignity that each human being deserved was more appealing to him. Tony once told her he thought he was doing more good helping people by driving a cab than he could being stuck sitting in some chair charging people money they couldn't afford to talk about their problems. And you know that's one thing when you a cab driver, sometimes cab drivers do have a PhD just driving a cab because people talk. If you don't know them, they don't know you. They can spill everything out what they want to talk about, and they talking to that driver. Nobody but you in that. I don't drive a cab. I got a car. You don't got to have no cabs here in my city because you can get A to B walking. But we do have cabs and stuff here though. But I'm just saying those cab drivers, they are there. They listening. They listen. They know every story of people. I'm saying, excuse me, while they lay on a couch, he could kill two birds with one stone and save others a ton of money along the way. He could dispense advice while he got people to the places they needed to go. He was a wise man who cared about helping others more than what people thought about him. He was sensitive and caring, and a caring man who felt, excuse me, that he was making a bigger difference driving a cab than he ever could by charging $300 an hour for the same advice. Wow, $300 an hour. Mm. Judge, do you know what people would talk to cab drivers and bartenders about their problems before they will tell even the spouses what's bothering them? I consider it an honor and a privilege that others trust me that much, he once said. Even though he was proud of what he did, she was also ashamed, but also was ashamed for. But who was she ashamed for? Was she ashamed for Tony or for herself? What was she ashamed for? A beautiful woman with an with even a beautiful spirit, a man who was more concerned about others than others about him, than what others thought about him. A man who had treated her with more dignity and respect than others men in her life. A man um, that most women only dreamed about meeting. Why was she afraid of what she might learn about herself if others at the ball found out what he did for a living? So she was ashamed. She needed a date to go to this ball that she was going to be speaking at, and she needed a date. And she was afraid to take him. She was embarrassed to take him because of his position that he was doing. He was a cab driver. But even though he had a PhD, and she knew he had a PhD, but the thing about it was that he was working in no type of office. You know what I'm saying? He was using his skills by being a cab driver. And that's a blessing by itself to other people. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to save people money. You know, says spend all that money. Listen to a doctor paying $300 an hour. You know what I'm saying? So he gave up all that money to be a cab driver and still using his skills. So I had never read this book before right here. So that's the end of chapter one. You know, I do a chapter a day. I like to take my time. I like to rush into it. That you be in suspense of what's going to happen on next Saturday. So that's serving justice. So you met Angie along with Tony, the cab driver, and along with her friends, Darlene, Rhonda, and Teresa. Four girls that she met in college, and they became friends over the years. Okay, so that's in chapter one. We're going to continue on with chapter two on next Saturday. Um, I just want to remind everybody today is the last day for the two ladies who I had in my night box on tomorrow. I'm gonna be picking two more YouTubers. Well, three YouTubers. I'm gonna pick three more YouTubers. I'm gonna start doing three instead of two. Three more YouTubers on tomorrow. They'll be there for 2 weeks only. I will have their channel in the night box, and anytime I go live, their name will be mentioned in the night box. So the next three people that I will have on tomorrow, starting tomorrow, make sure you show them love. And if you have not shown the ones who I got in the night box yet, which is Positive Movement and Alikar, if you go show them queens right there some love, make sure you get them because I know Positive Movement too. She's coming with some new stuff in 2019. You know, so she finna end 2018, and she coming in with 2019 with the blast. So you do not want to miss what she's about to present us for 2019. And again, you have not been to Ellicott yet. She's awesome. She's everything. Her hands is in everything. She's a beautician. She do pedicure. She do manicure. She's a masseuse. She does it all. Okay. When it comes to taking care of your body as well, she does that. So she know how to get it. She said you got a crick in your neck. You know, I think she made a video of how to get the crick out your neck. You know, I ain't had one of those in a long time. A crick my neck in a long time. So should you go check her out? So yes, that's my thank you for people that's showing me love and stuff like that coming in my life, in and out. You know, that's my way of saying thank you by supporting your page and even announcing your page for my life. I'm all about love, peace, and joy and happiness. I don't like drama. I try to stay away from drama. Um, God teaching me how to love people long distance. I can still forgive. I can still move on with my life, and I can do it long distance because I know who I am in Christ. I know God loves me, you know, regardless to what. So you know, I don't look at the numbers that's in my chat. You know what I'm saying? Because people can always come back and listen to your videos and stuff like that. So I just thank God what YouTube is doing. You know, they cleaning stuff up and they doing a lot. And I thank YouTube for doing that. I still got, well, I don't got the same amount of people now because once I announced that, I still had the same amount of people that would show me love. Two people did unsubscribe to me, but that's okay because I'm still smiling. I'm still moving on with God. I just thank, God, for what He's doing into my life, so much love to everybody. I know Yvonne is going live. Yvonne, you listen. I'm sorry to get back to you because I fell asleep. I know I had sent her a message and stuff, and I fell asleep. So I did, when I was ready to go live. But she's getting ready because I asked her because she's going live. So that way I can make an announcement. But she is go live. She's gonna go live around 9:30. You guys want to tune into the Really Yvonne. To the Really Vine. So she will, be going live around that time. And so you got a little bit more, time. My lives really don't last an hour, but it's really short today because I started late and I wanted to be make sure I get done on time so I can relax and get ready for the Really Vine and stuff like that. So I think that's about it. I don't have nothing else to say. I will be going live on tomorrow. I do have some things I want to present. I wanted to do it earlier today, one of them today, but I was down and out today, and I, feel like messing with the YouTube today. Was two things I do want to present on tomorrow. Some good informational stuff. One is some good informational stuff, and another one is just something that happened back in 2004 with this young lady, which I've seen this before, and I put it on the side, but then it came back to my remembrance again so I decided to go ahead and do that tomorrow. So it's sad. It's sad. It's something to do with trafficking. You know what I'm saying? So this girl doing a lot of time for no reason. But so we're gonna get into that tomorrow. So stay tuned and look for that tomorrow. And also we talk about survival. That's coming up. It's gonna be happening sometime. So we should be ready. We talk about that on the Chosen Power God channel. So you guys get some of his videos, what they're talking about, and I came across this information about survival as well. So I'm gonna share that with you guys on tomorrow. So those are two things I want to share with you guys. So you guys will tune in. Like I said, it's a good information. One is good, for information. The other one's just justice. Do we really have justice? Here in the United States. You know what I'm saying? So much love, much love, much love, and and God bless you guys. And I will see you all again in somebody's chat. Well, if you come to Yvonne's chat, I'll see you tonight. And if not, I will see you hopefully in my live on tomorrow. Okay. Um, so I'm going to leave you with what I always leave you with. Love the skin that you are in because you are made in God's image and you are beautiful. God created you all for a purpose. We all are different colors for a reason and for a purpose. And just remember when you talk about people, skin complexion and color, you are mocking God because God the one created that person or those people for that color for a reason. So you got to be careful. Be careful what you say about God's people, okay? Because He hears you. He sees everything that you do, okay? And always remember, I'm forever a chosen queen. So peace out, and I will see you around. I'm out.